All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this fourth day of the IndieX. We already had some fun with Thiago. And now we're going to be playing some with KODAOSAKANA from Japan, from Room 6 and Gmode Studios. So this is a game set in Uchronia, a mysterious world, constantly changing like a book whose pages are flipped out of order. And I won't say much more. We'll just explore the game as we go. So welcome, KODAOSAKANA, and welcome, Matias. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
Um, okay, so I would probably start playing the game. I'll start playing the game. And then as we go, I'm going to ask some very specific questions, probably related to the story, and see if KODAOSAKANA can share some of his inspiration and stuff with us. If you want, you can start with that. Like, what inspired this game? Um, the story seems to have some stuff related to pollution. There seems to be like this dystopian world, weird world. I don't know. What can you say about that?
はい、最初の方に、世界観についていくつか質問を、させていただきたいというふうに思っているんですけれども、ストーリーでもかなりこう、自然が汚染されているとか、そういった背景とかもあるかと思いますが、世界観についてぜひ教えていただけますでしょうか。聞こえていますかね。
Okay.
Can you hear me? Or
Yeah, I can hear you. Not sure if KODAOSAKANA can hear us. Let's wait a little bit. Okay, so the game is very cute. It's very funny. So because we see this very cute rat right now in the story, and we've seen some recent games that are not so cute about rats, like Plague Tale, for example, which I found very interesting to be playing this game today after all the success of Plague Tale, where the rats are kind of scary. While here we have this very cute rat. So the story starts just like this. Apparently, we have this human figure and our rat interacting with each other. The rat is named Zeri, and he's pretty much guiding us through the game. And they're referring to a sea, but you can already see that this seems very desolate area, desolate beach probably. Just waiting a little bit to see if we can get some sound from KODAOSAKANA. Is he having some issues, Matias?
yes, it seems like he's having some problems hearing the audio on our end. So
Okay.
I'll let you know when we can talk more about the world then.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So we have Zeri giving us some brief introductions about the world. The sea is one huge body of water, and apparently we cannot live there because the waves are too strong, and we would be drowning before reaching the next page. So there's this first reference in the game about a page. The game seems to be always hinting to the possibility of this being a story told as we progress through a book. So yeah, let's find ourselves some calm waters.
We have audio on KODAOSAKANA.
All right.
So he can hear us now.
So do you want
Would you like
me
me
to
to
repeat
continue
the
with the first question? I know that's
Yeah.
my thing.
Okay, so you go.
はい、KODAOSAKANAさんありがとうございます。すいません。いろいろと
はい、もしかしてちょっとトラブル。はい。
いい、ありがとうございます。ちょっと、ゲームを作ろうと思ったきっかけを簡単に、説明いただければと思うんですけれども、いろいろこう、汚染だったりとか、そういうことも、ゲーム内でも、見られるので、どのようなものがにインスピレーションされて作ったのか。
そうですね、私、長年ゲームは作ってきたんですけれども、ちょっとこれまでにない手作り感のあるゲームを作りたかったんですね。アートワークであるとか、音楽であるとか、そういったものを、ある種、児童文学のような世界のゲーム、手作り感を持って作りたかったというのがあります。はい。
Yes, so I've been making games for a long time then, and so this was just one of the games where I wanted to kind of have more of a handmade feel to the games then. So just kind of going through different cultures and seeing what kind of a different things I can pick up and use in the game. So that's kind of where the original inspiration.
Okay, very interesting. I noticed something that I'm gonna touch this in the next room, but so you can ask this as well. Let me try to make it simple. So that we are playing on a 2D, like this, is pretty much a 2D game, but then the game adds some depth because we can interact with objects that are on the back of the screen. So like while we are walking on a 2D manner, like horizontal progression, we also have interactable items on the back. So how did he come up with this idea? Because it's very interesting because it adds a lot of depth to the 2D environment.
で、ゲームプレイしながらあることに気づいたんですけれども、やっぱり 2D のスクローリングっていうゲームなんですけれども、奥の方にやっぱりこう、インタラクティブでできる、ものも置いてありますので、どのようなきっかけでこういった、先ほど飛ばったグラスを、置いておこうと思いましたか？
ちょっと待ってください。インタラクティブな。
はい、先ほど、グラスとかも割れてしまったと思うんですけれども、そちらの、要素を入れたかった、きっかけは何なんでしょうか？
はい。インタラクティブであることも大事なんですけども、そのユーザーが結局この世界に対して何を求めてるか、ユーザーの欲求ですね。そういったものを、ある程度ストーリーの展開に反映させたいと思って今割ったことに対しても、後々ゲームの展開に関係してくることなんです。全く無意味ではないんです。
Yes, so of course these interactive elements are very much an important part of the whole game in general. So where it started from really was that, I wanted to see how the story aspect of the game could be explored. So, what kind of different patterns and combinations I could do and, what really the player wants from the game. So of course there's an interactive element of it all where you're able to interact with the background, but I really wanted to place that more story heavy.
Very, very, very interesting. I'm gonna finish the sequence before we progress. Like I'm gonna wait for the next room to show what why I asked that question to the chat, to the people watching the stream, so that they can better understand what I meant. But something I wanted to ask KODAOSAKANA was there seems to be a lot of there's something about books here, and it's not very clear. Maybe he doesn't want to share, but I wanted some comments on. It seems like we are progressing in the game as if we were inside the book, or if we are exploring a story as we go page by page. Is this true? Like, are we inside the book? Will we find out about this later into the game?
ゲームの方で、まるで絵本の中で進むような設定にはなってるかと思うんですけれども、ステージの間に毎回こうページを飛ばしていくことも書いてあったんですけれども、これ言える範囲でも構いませんので、その本当に絵本の中なのか、この世界観どうなっているのか説明いただけますでしょうか？
これは本当にこの世界そのものの正体というのは、一番物語の最後に語られる。詳しくは、言うことはできないんですけど、いわゆるそのファンタジー世界現実の延長線であるとか、それとはちょっと全く違う世界、もっと概念みたいな世界と思って、だからこそ、そのユーザーが選択したことで、その世界にどういうふうにプレイヤーが、求めていくかっていうことを、その一種のゲーム体験として、リアクションがやってくる。はい。感じだと思ってください。
So everything you see in this world, of course, it's a little bit hard to explain, but you will know everything once you finish the game. So I don't want to give too much away because it's a very key part of it all. But just imagine it as a fantasy world where this is just the reality of this world. So you're jumping from page to page, and more will be told at a later point. So really, we're trying to here on the options that the players have.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. So I'm going to show. I think here I can show the first part of what I was referring about. There being interactive elements into this 2D screen. So for example, here we can, and there are no hints for this. So like we can interact with something and then get like a brief world building element. Then explains like what is snow, and then again. Just related to my previous question, there seems to be references to words, to letters, to books. And again, here we go. Like this definition of snow, cold triangular somethings. They are called molecules of words, letters that lost their bonds and thus their meanings. I also kind of like that our main character doesn't talk. It's pretty much the rat, well, just like on this stream, working as an interpreter as we go. Let me just touch here. Yeah, there you go. So another element. What I find very interesting about this is that we have no hint whatsoever that we can interact with the back of the screen. So there is nothing different about anything in the background that tells us that we should be able to interact with it. And yet, just like what I believe was the intent of KODAOSAKANA was to add like a lore element or just had some world building with us. And then again, references to books and what books are. So a stack of paper makes a book, a stack of books makes a bookshelf, a stack of bookshelves makes library. What envelops and hides libraries then? The world, whatever the world is. This is probably a question that KODAOSAKANA gets a lot, I would imagine. At least for someone like me from the West, it seems very logical. But there seems to be some Studio Ghibli inspiration in the artwork. Was this the case, or just my preconceived idea as a Western that is everything comes from a Studio Ghibli inspiration?
まあ、海外の方から、よく聞かれるご質問にはなるかもしれないんですけれども、まあ、海外から見てどうしてもこうジブリっぽい、ぽさ、は、絵の中にも見えてくるんですけれども、こちらを、狙ってやったものなのか、それとも、まあ、自分の独特なアートスタイルを、狙っている。それをぜひ、
はい、僕も若い頃からスタジオジブリ好きなんですけども、まあ、どっちかというと僕はずっと描き続けたものってこういうスタイルで、このゲームのね、ビジネスとして、このターゲティングとして、そのジブリを意識しているというところはあんまりないです。
Yes, so I do like Ghibli as well from a young age already. So I watch a lot of Ghibli, and of course, so there might be some inspiration there as well. But I really do think like this is my unique art style as well, and this is just how I kind of go about drawing.
No, it looks gorgeous. Just let him know. It looks gorgeous. It's incredible.
本当に見た目が素晴らしい。
Okay, so here we'll get our first. If you want, not really an action sequence, but the game, this demo will show us some gameplay elements, and we're gonna get a new one here. Actually, I believe it's the first one. It's gonna be something where we get to shoot some elements into the game. And then again, what I find very interesting about the game is that right now, those bottles have slightly different colors from the rest of the map, and yet the way they are drawn, they don't seem to be interactable items. Which I think it's very interesting because adds to the mystery. Like every room feels like a very desolate place where we don't get to interact with anything. There's not much about color construct except our main characters, which I found very interesting. If you want to say that to KODAOSAKANA, like the way every interactable item, even when they have different colors in the background, they don't stand out much in the sense that if the game didn't tell me to interact with those items, I wouldn't be thinking of that. Which is a compliment, like in the sense that I think it's very interesting because it allows the player to explore the area by themselves.
はい。で、どの部屋もやっぱり進むたびに、いつも気づくのは、こちらと今背景に置いてあるボトルとかもそうなんですけれども、まあ、非常にその、背景にも交われていて、 まあ、普段のゲームプレイのしながらも、まあ、その、まあ、背景の一種としても取られることもあるので、これは、まあ、本当に素晴らしいことだと思うんですけれども、こちらについても何か、どういうような設計だったんでしょうかと思えて
そうですね、もう、この1枚の静止画、この画面をキャプチャーした画面を見て、それが1枚の絵として描き取っている意味なんですね。そこを切り取っても絵本の1枚、1シーンであるというような印象を持っていただきたいというところを目指して、全体のタッチという相当気を使っています。
Yes, so that's really something I did pay attention to as well. I really wanted to be every frame where you stop in the game. I wanted that to be like a picture from a picture book. So nothing that should stand out too much. It should all just be part of the one frame and be that one capture.
Exactly. It's really amazing because adds a lot to the idea of the player exploring and not like it doesn't give. It's not holding the player's hand. Like the player, if they want, can look around, can try to find some relevant information, but the game doesn't tell us to do that. So we just go as we explore, and we explore by ourselves, which I find very interesting. Like the way the artwork was made makes it very interesting because you can just like keep going, or you can explore a little bit, just like I was doing here. Actually, on my previous playthrough, I couldn't find this specific note, for example. Then again, interesting how each room has interesting elements to explore, but since the game doesn't show them to us, we really have to look for them.
本当にそれが素晴らしいことだと本当に思っているのと、まあ、このように、まあ、一番最初のプレイスルでは、このフィッシングトゥースっていうのも、見つかってなかったんですけども、この2回目で今、ピースいただいた際に、まあ、これも発見できて、これやっぱりプレイヤーも、自分自身が、もうちょっと、まあ、そのまま進むか、もう少し探索するのかっていうのも、選択肢にはなるかと思うので、まあ、非常に素晴らしいですと思っています。
ありがとうございます。プレイしている感覚として、ゲームをしてるんじゃなくて、だんだん読書をしているような気持ちになってもらいたいんですね。ですから、こういったもうゲームのメッセージ風ではなくて、読み物風にあえてしている。だんだん本に読む読書に没頭していくような遊び方をしてもらえばいいかなと思います。
Yes, so I really wanted the player to kind of have their own reading story as well as they move on this in this book type of world, where it kind of just the world builds and builds as well for the player. So I really do hope that that inspires the more adventurous people out
Oh yeah, I believe that's definitely going to be the case. Let me just look at the Twitch chat and see if we have some questions, because I was following some of the channels, but the chat on one of them froze. So I was just checking. Let me see. Have anything? Yeah, someone. So some student of Ricardo Correia, one of the organizers of the event, made the comment about how rats seem to be a common theme for this edition. You'd probably for this year, but that's probably because of Plague Tale Wrecking, because of the rats. But there seems to be something around rats recently. Is there a reason that KODAOSAKANA can share with us to going with the rat, or it's just like a way of telling the story of this specific game?
まあ、ネズミについてぜひお聞きしたいなっていうふうに思ってるんですけども、なぜ今回、ネズミがリードしているような存在になって、まあ、言える範囲では結構なんですけど、ぜひそちらの背景についても教えていただけますでしょうか。
はい。彼はですね、ネズミではなくて、オポッサムという動物なんですけれども、尻尾に火がついたオポッサムというのは、これは実はメキシコの神話からの引用なんですね。で、まあ、ちょっとそこを話すと長くなってしまうんですけども、メキシコの、神話として、そのオポッサムっていうのは、喜劇というかですね、ちょっとユニークな存在として書いてまして、 この世界における、一種のムードメーカーですね。という形で、この彼の役割を設定しています。
Yes, so it's actually not a rat that we're looking at here. It's actually an opossum. And if I go into all the details on what kind of, different features and different mythological beliefs these opossums have, I might give away too much away at once. So I'll just say that, it's a very unique creature that we have here with us, and kind of the mood maker and the scene set.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much. Okay, let's progress just a little bit. And sorry to the stream, because there was a little bit where we were seeing the Discord and not really the game. Sorry, it was my bad, because I was changing browsers to be able to chat. Okay, so as I was saying, as KODAOSAKANA has commented as well, like so these brief notes that we find in the game, like these blue notes, had some story and some depth to whatever is happening. And I find them very interesting, because they are usually giving us very small tips. For example, this one here is about fishing tools. And it explains that fish are deceived by lures made of bird feathers and beads, and then adds something very interesting, which is you and I, too, are being deceived, suggesting that, well, then again, reinforcing the idea that this is some kind of reality that's not, I don't know, accurate, actually like real, or there's something else going on that we're not yet aware of. But the game is giving us small tips as we go. And I don't think, yeah. Okay. Yeah, every time we finish a sequence like this, there is, as I was saying in the beginning, a reference again about books and pages, and so the game always asks if we wanna dive and move to the next page or not. I assume like the no option is usually, yeah. So Zeri always gives us a tip that, well, maybe, what, did you forget something? He seems to be in a hurry. We are not in a hurry, but we get to explore some more. But I believe I've explored everything in this room, so let's go on. Right. Anyone in chat has any questions, any curiosities they would like to see addressed? Feel free to say something. If you asked already, please ask again, because I lost one of the feeds. And take the chance that we have KODAOSAKANA here with us, and Matias to do the translation. I can start with something that I would like to know. That is, if KODAOSAKANA can share. Is there a release date for the game already? Should we expect? When should we expect the game to be out and in stores?
いろいろスイッチチャットの方も集まれているところではいるんですけれども、最初、ストリーマーである、ベルナードさんからですけれども、リリース日について、現在どうお考えなのでしょうか。何か公開できるものはございますでしょうか。
いや、これはちょっとまだはっきりとは言えませんので、もうちょっとだけ待っていただければです。詳しくはまた。
So, nothing I can share with you at this current moment, but I hope, of course, that I'll be able to keep you posted in the very near future.
Okay, perfect. We would like. I'm very interested in this, because now I'm very intrigued about the whole story that's going on, and all the this demo is fairly short. That's also why I'm trying to keep a conversation going, so that we can have this fruitful stream. But I'm very curious, because the demo is short enough for me to get very curious, because it's short and because there's already a lot of mystery going on. So I'm looking forward to that, and maybe talk again with KODAOSAKANA in the future if he's interested. Okay, now question for KODAOSAKANA from the chat. So Kami is asking, is everything drawn in traditional art, or is it digital? Or, well, what was the technique applied here? How did the art was made? How was it created?
で、設置のチャットの方から、ご質問いただいた、かみさんという、方なんですけれども、こちらの絵について、描きについてのご質問ですが、
はい
どのように描かれていて、どのように実装されましたでしょうかというご質問です。例えば、2D 絵をそのもの持っていて、それから、3D アドレナリンぜひ教えてください。
はい。基本的にはすべて、紙に、ボールペンで書いています。これがデザインの原画になっているので、こんな感じで全部すべてアナログで書いて、それを取り込んで、PC で。
Yes, so it all comes down to paper and a pen, basically, ball pen. So he actually draws everything by hand, and then digitalizes the art. Then, so it's a very analog process, but feels that that's very important to keep, the soul of the game strong as it is.
It's perfect. It's great. It's great. I'm gonna if KODAOSAKANA can keep that specific heart piece that he just puts behind him. If he can keep that until the end of the stream, so that the production team in the end can put our cameras bigger and we get to see with more detail. So please ask him to do that if possible.
Do you mean like him bringing it up to the camera now or later?
No, just keep it there, and then in the end we'll just look at it with more detail because the production team will put the cameras bigger.
すいません。先ほど見せていただいた原画なんですけれども、こちらを、そのまま一旦見ていただいてもよろしいでしょうか。ちょっと、ストリームの、最後の方にぜひ、もうちょっと大きくディテールとかも見させていただければと思うので、ちょっと
これですか。
それをお願いできるかと。はい、ちょっと後で、はい、お願いできる。ありがとう。
Thank you. So another question. Prof. Axman is asking if there is any specific inspiration for the locations. And for example, this small town here seems to be very pretty, very beautiful. Is it inspired in any specific real town, like, I don't know, European, Asian, I don't know, something that KODAOSAKANA visited or not? Like, how did it come up with this specific design for the towns?
次の、ちょっと質問なんですけれども、現在、例えば背景にもあります、場所なんですけれども、非常に、綺麗で、ちょっとヨーロッパ風か分かってないんですけど、こちらは、自分自身が、訪れたところとか、それとも、なんか他の旅してみたかったとか、もう少しその、この場所をなぜ描いたのか、教えていただけるでしょうか。
これはですね、私が今まで人生の中で出会った場所と言いたいんです。ではなく、それが実際にあったことなのか、夢なのか、想像なのか、わからないんですけれども、その中に印象として残っているものを全て絵にしたい。だから、現実のものもありますし、夢で見たものもありますし、想像のものも全て混ざっているような、風景だと思います。
Yes, so while I'd really like to say that I've been to all these places, unfortunately I can't say I have. So basically you can think of it as 3 places. So I dream vividly as well. So, some of these places have come to me in my dreams that I then just jot down to paper. Some of them are a little bit more fantasized up then. And then, there are some real places as well that I've really visited. So a lot of fantasy and inspiration combined with some real places.
Perfect.
一つだけ、
It's great.
私は絵を描くときに、写真であるとか資料でっていうものを一切見ません。すべて自分の想像だけで描いて。
So there's one thing that he'd like to then point out as well is that, usually when you look at a real place as well, for instance, that you've been to as well, you might have some inspiration picture or something that you draw off a little bit as well, but he really lets his imagination run a little bit wild and loose, so he just paints it as he remembers it or as he saw it, and so he kind of just brings that image out of it.
Right, very interesting. Adds to the fantasy and to the world building, probably. Okay. Good question. Seychelles is asking on chat. everything seems to be super well detailed, and that's true, especially if we consider that there are also interactable elements that we can touch and get more information to. So how long does it take for KODAOSAKANA to draw each room, if you want, like each level, however he conceptualizes it? How long does it take?
後の方からいい質問いただいたんですけれども、本当に全てのディテールが細かくまで描かれていることもあって、でその他インタラクティブなエレメント部分とかもあったりするんですけれども、かなり細かく書かないといけないかなっていう印象でおりまして、じゃあ大体この1ステージ1部屋ぐらいはどれぐらいの時間で描く
そうですね。大体、ステージによって長さが大きさ、面積が違ったりするんですけど、30時間から40時間くらいかけて書いて
ます。ただ今見えているページとかも30時
間。はい、それくらいで書いてます。
Yes, so as you well pointed out as well, it's very detailed as well. So it takes him around 30 to 40 hours then to paint each page that you're seeing here. Then, so it's a lot of detailed drawing.
Does does KODAOSAKANA have to think about? So when he's drawing, does he think about the game when he's drawing, or does the game adapt to the drawing? So, for example, does he make the drawing like a freehand drawing or something like that, and then he programs the level into it, or when he's drawing, he's already thinking about the programming of the game?
でちょっと追加の質問なんですけれども、アナログとかでも多く描かれているっていう話もあったと思うんですけれども、描いている中ですでにじゃあこのゲームの中でどのように実装するのかとか、それからストーリーはじゃあこのような絵が必要なのでこのように描くとか、それとも本当にインスピレーションに打たれた時にいろいろ描き始めて、そこはじゃあどういうふうにストーリーに組み合わせられるのかっていうそのプロセスについてぜひ教えていただけますでしょうか。
シナリオを書くときに、大体どういう風景なのかっていうのを頭の中で考えている。それを、実際に書くときに、ディテールはもうアドリブで書いているんですけども、必要な構成っていうのはちゃんとシナリオにあったものということです。ディテールは相当書きながら。
So it depends really on what part of the scene that you're making. So he has a scenario then. So he has this image of how the entire story process should move along. So let's say that he needs one kind of scene for the next scene. Then he will start drawing that then. But the details that he then adds to the elements, the interactional elements, those are something that he kind of then thinks a little bit more about when it's actually programmed.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So, actually, we have we have the answer to what we asked before. So it's not about rats; it's about opossums. As you can see here, like this is the opossum mariachi band. So just in line with what KODAOSAKANA was saying, they are not really rats. So let's keep going. Go. What's wrong? It's me, Zari. And all of a sudden it became very dark. Sawdudge has found us. Okay. Okay, let's do the ear a little bit. So, the game so far is a little bit slow paced, and so I would like to ask KODAOSAKANA, because since we started playing, we got this first introduction with the throwing things that we used to break the bottles 2 maps ago, I think, and now we have this element of running, and I was wondering. If KODAOSAKANA can share a little bit about how the gameplay should evolve from here. So should we expect more fast-paced or more action-oriented levels at some point, or will it just be, or will just this brief action sequences be instrumental to telling the story and not so much, so the game is more about telling a story through action elements and not so much being an action game? How will it evolve from here?
で、今まで、ゲームはかなり、ゆっくり探索できたりとか、カードを投げて、ボトルを壊したりとか、そういう、インタラクティブなところもあったかもしれないんですけれども、今、先ほど言ったサウダージ、とかにも紹介されたとして、ちょっとゲームの今後について、言っているんですけども、このような、短めな、ちょっと危機感を感じるようなシーンを、今後も入れる予定なのか、それとももう少しこの、アクション性のあるものも、入っているのか。例えば、もうちょっと何かからずっと逃げなきゃいけない。そういったものも、予想できるのでしょう
か。はい、ゲームの中でですね、数箇所、多少アクション性のあることが、出てきます。ただ、このゲームは、そのアクションが苦手な人でも楽しめるようなものにしたいと思っていますので、難易度は相当低いもので。しかも、ミスしてもやり直しが効くようなもの。で場合によっては、ミスしたことによって別の展開が始まるというような仕組みもありますので、いろんなことを試してみてほしいですね。
Yes, so as you see as well, now here on the screen, the Sawdish isn't really running that fast. So in general, it's kind of more just to introduce the integration into the game. So, you feel more a part of the world and everything. So there's more interactable elements. So not really too much running away from stuff. And, there might be some places where you might want to fail some challenges as well. Get caught, for instance. So, that might lead to a different kind of storytelling aspect. And so this game is really made more for the people who kind of want to go around and take their time and explore the world, rather than being running away from the monster at all.
Okay, so that gives me maybe a tip to get caught here. Let's see what happens. Okay.
Okay.
I told you this would happen. Sorry, kid. I'm not following you all the way into oblivion. Oh, and the capital letter on oblivion. So, there we go. I was hoping you can say this to KODAOSAKANA. I was hoping that because I knew the demo would end right now, but when I tried the game first, I actually escaped. And so now, because of what he said, I was wondering if I got caught, there would be some more extra element that I could be able to explore.
はい。で、先ほど、小田お魚さんとかおっしゃっていたんですけれども、前もプレイしたこともあって、ここではでも終わるっていうなんですけれども、前回は、逃げ出したんですね。で、先ほども、失敗すれば、他の展開もありえますよねっていう話だったので、ちょっと今回は失敗してみたんですけれども、ぜひぜひそちらの、他の展開も、Yes, so, look forward to, maybe
Right.
not this exact place, but maybe another place then, where you might be able to
No,
get a new aspect on this.
I wasn't expecting an actual answer to this because it could be a spoiler to some extent. So we have like 5 minutes more or less, so maybe you can keep interacting with the chat a little bit. So feel free to ask any questions, anyone in the chat. We have some other question. Is this? I was left with the impression that this is not the first game that KODAOSAKANA makes. But either way, is this the first game that he draws by hand, or does he always draw games whenever he's making games?
はい。で、コーダお魚さんは、これを初めて作るゲームっていう、印象ではないので、こちら、その他のゲームとかも作っていらっしゃっている際に、いつも、絵で、アナログで絵を描いてからゲーム実装するパターンなのか、それとも、こちらも、初めて、このアナログの方で、実際にやってみたのかっていうのをぜひ、ご共有ください。
はい。今回のような手法を取るのは、初めてです。で、やはりこのハードが発達したことによって、ようやく 現的なことでもあるんですね。だから、いろいろチャレンジであったりとか、実験的なことを本作でやっておりますので、ゲームのアートワークに関わる方とかには、ぜひ見ていただきたいな、作品だなと思っています。
Yes, so that's absolutely correct. So not the first game, but this is really the first time I'm going about making the game in this way. So very analog and everything like that. So that of course poses a lot of its own different challenges. So I really hope that everyone who gets to play the game kind of just takes in a moment here and there and looks at the artwork and see all the hard work that went into.
Right. So I usually look at games, especially games like this, are a very good illustration of this as a kind of the ultimate art form, because there's music, there's hard work, like in terms of drawing, there's programming, and then there's all the interactive elements of a game. Was the music also made by KODAOSAKANA?
で、ちょっと、こういう風な、ゲームをいつも、見るときに、本当にもう素晴らしい、芸術の作品だっていう風に、毎回見受けるんですけども、かなりそのアートも重要ですし、それから、音楽とかも非常に重視、される作品にはなるかと思うんですけれども、音楽についてはまだ何も聞けてなかったので、こちらは、幸田お魚さんも、自分自身で作っていらっしゃるのか、それとも、どなたかに、ご協力いただいているかっていうのをぜひ、
はい。音楽に関しては、今日本のインディーゲーム業界で活躍されているシーバさんという方が、作曲されております。
Yes, so as far as the music thing goes, so that's made by someone who's quite well known here in the Japanese indie game scene. So he's called Shiva-san. That's the one who's helping him out on this project.
Okay, perfect. Related to what KODAOSAKANA was saying before about this being the first game that is drawing and making all the art, um, there are some challenges for sure. But Ricardo is asking on chat if there are any advantages because he's the artist, and so he's responsible for all the creativity and authorship of the game. So is there an advantage for an artist like Kodao Sakana to also be the one then programming the game on top of that? So like it's pretty much like an artist creating a game. So is that good? Is that something that he feels proud about? How does that work for him?
はい。で、やっぱり、このゲームを、見て、やっぱりその、アートがすごい重要だっていうことも、今皆さんにも、伝わっているんですけれども、今チャットの方から、リカードさんという、方から、ご質問いただいておりまして、その自分がアーティストである上に、いろいろゲームの他のディレクションだったりとか、そういった面とかもやらなければいけないというような状況になってるんですけれども、そういった、それは有利になっているか、それとも、ちょっと、あの、有利ではないのかっていうのを教えていただけますでしょうか？
はい。今回私が、原作ということでやっていまして、まあ、予定よりもたくさんちょっと絵の方に力を注いでしまったので、その分は、他のスタッフに、あの、開発スタッフに支えていただいているような形ですね。
多分聞かれると思うんですけれども、今、チーム
はい。
構成といたしましては、どのような、形になっていますでしょうか？
えっと、まあ、プログラムの、プログラムももちろん、やっていらっしゃいまして、えーアートワーク全般について私の方で、背景やキャラクターの原画等を描いて、それに対してそのキャラクターのアニメーションを作られる専門の方がいらっしゃいますね。あとはエフェクトであるとか、当然音楽に関しても先ほど言っていた作曲のシーバさんっていう方以外に、方が作曲して、すべてギターとかね、音楽も全部アナログでやっていますので、そういった演奏者も数名いる。まあ、インディーゲームとしてはかなり贅沢な、スタッフを集めて作っている作品ではあります。
Yes, so of course, he's bearing a lot of the hard work himself as well, but he does have a lot of people that support him around him too. So of course he does then, the programming and, the overall artwork for the game. But he has had to lean on his team members a little bit more than he maybe had originally planned to, as it often goes. So he has some help with, putting all his hard work into the game then as well as so a lot of help with the animations and effects, for instance, and the music. So it's really a team effort as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So probably a final question before I give the mic to KODAOSAKANA if he wants to add something. Has KODAOSAKANA ever made a manga, or is he planning to do a manga related to this or something else? Because people are very you can share this with them definitely. People seem to be very appreciating a lot his artwork, like astonished, just like amazed by his work. So did he ever plan to do something like that, or has he done something like that?
はい。で次の、質問なんですけれども、かなりこう絵とかも綺麗であって、非常に、目が惹かれるものにはなっているんじゃないかと思うんですけれども、それをもとになんかこう、漫画化、したりとか、もうちょっとこうアートブックコレクションみたいな、発売したい気持ちはあるかどうかっていうのをぜひ教えていただき
はい。おそらく漫画を書こうかなと思っています。はい。また、やはり、資料集であるといったものは、発売後、発売に合わせて、なんか出せれたらいいなと思って、興味がある方に、ちょっと期待していてください。
Yes, so of course I've always thought about making a manga out of this game as well. And what form that is or when that will be, that's still a little bit up in the works. But that's definitely something that has been on my mind and something that I will continue to pursue.
Perfect, amazing. Looking forward to that. I'm not sure if KODAOSAKANA can want to add something or say something about the game that we hadn't touched here. Ask him if he wants to add something, please.
はい。で、最後に、ちょっと時間になっているので、最後に、オーダー魚さんから、一言だけお願いできればと思っているんですけど、何か、こう、今日の配信でまだ触れてなかった、ことや、それから、オーダー魚さんが、自分自身でちょっと皆さんに共有、まだ共有しきれなかった部分がございましたら、ぜひ、ご共有いただけますと幸いです。
はい。一つ言いたいのは、ゲームって、とても自由な表現ができるメディアだと思うんですね。で、デザインに関しても、いわゆるその、ピクセルアートであるとか、3D じゃなくて、こう手書きでね、作ってもいいじゃないか。こうそんなに誰でも、本を読むようにね、こうゆったり遊べるゲームがあってもいいんじゃないかというつもりで、今回はあえてね、自分が作ってみたいというものを、徹底して作っていますので、そういったものを楽しめる方が増えればいいなと思っています。
Yes, so thank you very much for that. There's a lot of different games. There's a lot of, for instance, pixel art games as well, and a lot of action games. There's a whole variety of games out there. But what I really wanted to go here with this experience was to make the game that I always wanted to make. Then, so I've always been fascinated by hand drawn picture books, hand drawn, everything just analog and hand drawn. So that's really what I wanted to incorporate here in the game and kind of just, take the stress out of gaming and let everyone enjoy their, game in their own free time and take it kind of easy right now. So thank you very much.
Oh no, thank you. So it's perfect. It's gorgeous. It's also very innovative, at least in my perspective, especially because it was all hand drawn. So it's really amazing to see that. We're very thankful for having you both here. You too as well, Matias. Thanks a lot for your work. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. And just let KODAOSAKANA know that if he is interested in the future, we would be very pleased to have a conversation again whenever the game is closer to release or something like that. To have, I don't know, talk a little bit maybe about business in Japan, whatever he feels like sharing at the time. We shall talk more, but if he is interested, we would like to reach out in the future again. Thanks so much.
Thank you.